All right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin price speculation. There's a lot of very bullish news in crypto lately, and that's a really good thing. When there's bullish news, people are buying and buying and buying and raising the price. So it's looking pretty good for a recovery of crypto prices. Where they're going to go is anybody's guess, but I have a lot of articles up here speculating future prices and upcoming prices. And then I have something else to talk about, and that is the Verge FUD that has been going around lately, and it has actually damaged the price of Verge a little bit, or at least stymied its price increase. So as you can see here on GDEX, that it's not loading very well, and that's because my internet is kaput for some reason right now and not working so good. Good old internet. So but it is up to date, and we're at about $8,000. Now, the last video I made yesterday, we had reached about 8,100 or so, and then it dipped to 7,800, where it stayed for many hours, pretty much the entire day. Now we're up 200 bucks, which is nothing too crazy, but is also better than going back downwards. Also, the incredible amount of bullish news lately, all it really takes is to, like, Google the news with Bitcoin or anything like that. You'll find pretty much only bullish articles, which is really, really good right now. So we're going to talk about that first, and then we're going to get into that Verge news that has damaged the price of Verge. So first article here, crypto hedge fund Bitcoin price reached its probable low at 6,500. Now this is talking about how it definitely reached the low of 6,500 and likely will not return. So its probable low is 6,500. And public Bitcoin price predictions and recommendations have never been a preference for Pantera Capital Management. The fund's investment came to light in 2014, but it has only made 3 buy and 1 sell recommendations over the last 7 years. If there's one thing that's this signals, it's that Pantera is particularly careful and far from being reckless in their public statements. Yet the new call of the fund comes from after the largest cryptocurrency crossed its 200-day moving average. To shed some clarity on this, the fund explains traders often use that term as it seems to be the best optimal response time of human psychology. It says adding long enough to stop fretting about missing the trade, not too long that the information is lost. So nevertheless, all Bitcoin investors are wondering what the bottom is during this rampantly bearish market for the first quarter of 2018. According to Pantera, I love this name, Pantera Capital, because, you know, I never listened to Pantera that much, but good band, though. Bitcoin's price has already bottomed out, reaching its probable low at 6,500. So understanding the weight of their statements, Pantera CEO Dan Moorhead and co-chief of investment officer Joey Krug share their positivity in a rather careful manner. For those who are new to Pantera, who might think a fund manager like Pantera would always be saying today's a great day to get long, I rarely have such conviction on timing. A wall of institutional money will drive the markets higher. So while Pantera seems firm on the fact that institutional cash pouring into crypto market shall drive the markets much higher, another Wall Street strategist, Fundstrat chief Tom Lee, outlines a few other reasons for which Bitcoin's price is going to hit 25,000. So he was outlining, so Tom Lee, who often talks about Bitcoin, has been saying lately that a lot of people have been selling to pay off their tax debt. So, you know, if you owe like 3,000 bucks at the end of the year or something like that, people will sell off their coin and then pay the IRS with that. Although very few people in the United States have actually reported cryptocurrency transactions. I think it was like 100 out of like 250,000 people, or you know, something like that out of that pool of people. So it's extremely, extremely low amount of people have actually reported their cryptocurrency earnings. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're still not paying their taxes. They might have like 3,000 in taxes, or just a few thousand or something like that, and then they sell the crypto and pay it off, but they never really said that they had the crypto in the first place. So that is another reason why people are thinking that's happening. And also because, you know, crypto taxes weren't really that big of an interest for a lot of people before 2018. The IRS really started to get on it like late 2017. They started to really start pressing some exchanges to give up their information for it. But that still doesn't necessarily mean there aren't other taxes that people are selling to pay it off. So Bitcoin's rebound could continue after tax day again. So Bitcoin rebounded over 1,000 in less than a day, moving from 6,900 to over 8,000 on Thursday. As I said in the last video, you could argue like 1,100 it moved, or even a little bit more if you waited a little bit longer. It hadn't been over 8,000 in 2 weeks and has settled around 8,000 over the past 2 days. There's been speculation and analysis that due to Bitcoin's large price increase during 2017 that created a large tax liability, and that some of the selling pressure over the past 2 weeks is due to investors selling it to pay taxes. And since Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies such huge gains in 2017, that means investors who sold them or used them to pay for items largely incurred short-term capital gains. Also, mining Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies generated current income and self-employment taxes per the IRS notice. So how large could the tax liability be? While Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies have fallen in value in 2018, Tom Lee estimates that they have increased $590 billion during 2017 to determine tax liability. They use these calculations. Whatever. So impact on Bitcoin could be substantial or minimal. Right, okay. Either way, you know, one of the two, either down here or up there. But all right, we'll continue reading on. So Lee calculates that for every $1 in the U.S., selling that it impacts the market value by 20 to 25 bucks. Think market cap, rather, not the actual price of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's market cap was about 135 billion towards the end of March, and over the next 2 weeks it fell to about 115 billion before it rebounded on Thursday. Per Lee's calculation, it would only take 1 billion of US-based Bitcoin selling to account for the 20 billion downdraft. So, you know, everybody's selling all their money and selling all their Bitcoin and things like that, and other various coins are definitely lowering the price. But we're seeing a resurgence in buying, and not just a resurgence in the price, but overall volume, and the exchanges are returning to normal as well. So experts predict Bitcoin to reach 25,000 by 2018 or 250,000 by 2022. Now, usually predictions for me are just that, just predictions, but I sort of agree with this. My prediction that I made, I believe it was in early January of Bitcoin at the end of this year, is going to be 25,000 to 30,000, maybe even 35 at best. And that's what a lot of people are agreeing on, is 25,000. And 250,000 by 22 is not entirely unheard of. We went from $1,000 to $20,000 in 2017. Now, I don't think that 20 times difference is going to happen again, at least not anytime soon, because now, if you're dealing with 20 times different, we're at, you know, the lowest point was in January or beginning of February, about, let's call it 6,000. So 20 times that, I mean, we're talking $120,000 by the end of the year. And that's just not just per Bitcoin. We're talking the whole market cap would be maybe $2 trillion or something like that. So it would be a lot, and I don't think that scale is going to happen like that again. $1,000 to $20,000 relatively is 20 times, but relatively that's still only $20,000 compared to what $6,000 could be to 10 times $6,000, 60 or $120,000. It's a really big gross difference between the relative value of each other. So I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not, but over time, sure, I agree with that. The Bitcoin price crossed 8,000 this week, supported by a massive spike in buy volumes across major cryptocurrency exchanges. Analysts explain that that a sudden surge in demand from institutional investors and inflow of new capital may have triggered the surge in the Bitcoin price. So we also had the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Soroses, all saying that they were going to get into crypto. And let me just say, quite frankly, they have probably more money than probably almost everybody in the world combined, or close to it. A very high competitors kind of thing, just those few families in itself. So on April 13th, CCN reported that billionaire venture capitalist, early investor in some of the most successful technology companies like SpaceX and cryptocurrency angel investor Tim Draper predicted that Bitcoin to achieve $250,000 by the end of 2022. So a price of $250,000 would lead to a $5 trillion market cap of Bitcoin. And at its peak, the cryptocurrency market valued around $900 billion. It would require the Bitcoin price to increase by more than 31-fold within a 4-year span for it to surpass $250,000. So when Draper initially released his long-term goal for his Bitcoin investment, the cryptocurrency community investors within the market shared the sentiment of Draper and agreed 250,000 price target for Bitcoin is a realistic goal, especially in the long term. And so many investors in the cryptocurrency market are not in it for short-term profits. If that had been the case, the vast majority of investors should have cashed out in December. Economists, can argue the cryptocurrency market was in a bubble and that investors did not cash out the all-time high of the market in December because of greed. But investors like Peter Thiel and Tim Draper disagree. Investors did not pull out the cryptocurrency market in December after seeing massive profits. They did not pull out because investors truly believed the maximum potential of the cryptocurrency market will not end as a $900 billion market. So midterm. In the midterm, Wall Street analyst and Fund Street founder Tom Lee stated that Bitcoin will likely achieve 25,000 by the end of 2018 as it rebounds from its correction and achieves a new all-time high. And we still feel pretty confident that Bitcoin is a great risk reward, and we think it could reach 25,000 by the end of the year. Already within a 3-day period, we recorded a 15% increase from 6,900 to 8,000. So I always believe that, mid-December is usually the highest prices, and then everybody sells. So, a pretty good strategy is really to just sell at the high point in December. For example, the highest point of Bitcoin, I believe the exact date was the 17th or the 18th of December 2017, when it reached nearly 20,000. So if you would have sold then waited just about 2 months, about a month and a half till February, right at the beginning of February 1st, 2nd, around there, when Bitcoin was about 6,000, you would have more than tripled your Bitcoin. So if you had 10, you'd now have probably over 30. If you had 100, you'd have over 300. So you would have made a huge deal. And yes, it hasn't returned to that 20,000 since, but you did sell those profits at its maximum height, and you picked it up at its lowest, and basically tripled your Bitcoin. So if you take a look at the charts, January of every single year is virtually the lowest point of the year. At this year, it was about the beginning of February, but it's still approximately that same time. If you look at it, 2017, 2016, 2015, they're all the lowest point in January because of everybody selling for the Christmas season, the New Year's, preparation for selling for the Chinese New Year, which isn't for a little while after that, but people are still selling through that whole period. And you'd be able to pick it up for quite cheap. So experts weigh in on cryptocurrency price recovery amidst institutional interest. So nothing but bull articles, really good. It's bringing a lot more people in, or at least people back and new people in at the same time. So with a 15% increase, and all but 4 of the top 100 cryptocurrencies by market capitalization are still showing green, investors are demonstrating increased confidence illustrated by trading volumes. Experts have shared their predictions and explanations for the increase, which may well indicate a recovery for the cryptocurrency market after months of trepidation. Thursday's sudden price increase for Bitcoin is the result of what experts term a short squeeze and sparked a frenzy of activity in the charts. So this is what's known in the markets as a short squeeze. When a lot of people are short on heavy leverage, a small movement can trigger someone's top stop loss. Keep in mind that when a short position gets closed, it actually creates a buy order. After a prolonged period of moving within the range, stop losses start to pile up, and so even a small movement in the market can trigger a chain of reactions of stop losses all at once and lead to a breakout on the charts. So essentially, everybody's stop losses are getting taken, and so therefore it's buying as it's going up. So yeah, short squeeze. So the orange and blue dotted lines represent the tight range. We would normally look for a test of the blue line before moving forward. However, should the excitement start to come back into this market, it might not need to. So looking real good, Bitcoin. Everything's looking pretty good. And even if it goes back down, you might as well just scoop some more up. Not a big deal. So we're at the end of another cryptocurrency downward trend. So we have basically an influx of speculators. So we have a normal market behavior, having acknowledged that 2017 was defined as a breakout year. and its creation of unprecedented excitement and wealth in the cryptocurrency space. The founder of Netcoin's Michael Vogel notes that the currency development is normal within the crypto space. Vogel elaborates that on a percentage basis, the industry has similar corrections throughout Bitcoin history. Notably, these included periods following November 13th, even May, June, and September 2017, which all experienced significant corrections. That being said, he points out that Bitcoin is still close to up 800% in the last 12 months, so traders don't need to be that morose. And crypto prices remain a major crux. The ICO market is changing irreversibly, so this one is particularly important. As for the ICO market, Lebanov believes that the situation has irreversibly started to change to a more thorough and professional projects development, especially with respect to their appraisal by the crypto community as well as by the regulators. He notes that that most time of hype ICO collections without any project substance is over, and we will see them in a more reliable format in the future. The innovations in the blockchain area have not yet been exhausted. We have finally received Lightning Network. New products and solutions on its basis are also coming up. The big corporations like IBM have started investing. The Ethereum platform has seen significant changes, such as a transfer to proof of stake, not just yet though, network scaling up and exploring the methods to return stolen or frozen assets. So the ICO thing, I definitely agree with. I think it should be changing. It is changing. I think it should have changed a while ago. In 2017 was the year of the ICO. You could essentially invest into just about any ICO. I mean, you could pretty much just throw an air ball, hit an ICO, and then sell it when it hits an exchange and double your money, triple your money, tenfold your money with ICOs. That it just isn't the case anymore because people started to realize really quick all you have to do is just make some junk coin. It doesn't even matter what you're going to do in the end, particularly if you're not in the United States where there isn't a lot of SEC regulations and a lot of arrests for those sort of things. So, you know, people invest into your ICO, you end up raising millions of dollars, you give them some kind of currency that isn't really has any inherent value. You can say that about a lot of currencies, but it doesn't do anything better than Bitcoin or Litecoin or Ethereum or any of the other coins. Sometimes they're just outright scams and they don't give you anything. So now onto the Verge drama. As we can see, Verge has decreased a little bit. Yeah, it takes a while for me to load right now because my internet is just not cooperating very well. So we were at about 9 cents. I think it maybe got to 10 cents briefly. And then we have this sundering of price. And for anybody that's holding on to Verge at the moment, let me scoot around on my chair and knock my monitor around. For anybody that's holding Verge and wondering why, here's why. There's a bunch of FUD going around. So Verge claims to have moved funds for Ledger integration, even though Ledger no longer charges for integration. Okay, so very strange. It's starting to get a little strange. I'm not going to speculate one way or another. I'm not. You know, I can say my opinion to some degree, but it's definitely not set in stone. This is not like a you know, clear exit scam or anything like that, or some kind of stolen. This is just starting to get weird, and questions should be asked at this point. Questions arise at this point. That's what I'm saying. So, okay. Basically, what happened is that Verge needed donations of Verge from everybody that's holding Verge, the developers, so that they could integrate with Ledger, the hardware crypto device, the hardware wallet. So, okay, so everybody gives them millions and millions of Verge. So at this point, worth probably hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm not really exactly sure how much they have, but so eventually they started to move it to Binance. I noted on my last video, and I said it wasn't that strange because, well, of course, if you receive donated funds, eventually you have to move them to an exchange or to some other address to pay for what you are going to get. It makes sense. It was a little questionable that it moved to Binance, but okay. Maybe, to give them the benefit of the doubt, to play devil's advocate here, maybe they had to transfer it into, exchange it into Bitcoin or US dollars on Binance, and then pay Ledger that way. Maybe Ledger did not want to be paid in Verge coin. Fair enough. Okay. Now it seems that Verge blatantly denies that they have a partnership with Verge, between Verge and Ledger. So, hello, I asked before tweeting. There has been first contact with a former Verge dev last September, and we answered with our standard quotation email and nothing since then. I can repeat it. There is neither a partnership nor any business agreement between Ledger and Verge. And this is the VP engineering at Ledger. So basically they sent an email, Verge asking about being integrated. They sent a standard quotation, so basically the cookie cutter corporate email that you receive, probably with further instructions, and then never received any kind of response, and neither responded after that. So that's weird. And then we have this tweet here. Seems like the unique partnership for XVG was partially for Ledger HQ integration. Okay, so that's what we realized before. We already realized this. So this was 15 hours ago. And 18 million Verge were moved to Binance. Okay, so apparently moved to Binance to maybe give Bitcoin to Ledger, or maybe transfer it to fiat and US dollars or euros or whatever to give to Ledger to integrate into their hardware. Great. All said and done, that would help everybody out, so we all have a hardware wallet. So we started to move the donation funds to the upcoming partners' wallets. No, they went to Binance. That's strange. So this is basically from one of the Verge developers, I believe. Core marketing team, something like that. Either way, we will be working on Ledger integration after we finish the announcement and stuff next week. Everyone calling XVG a scam coin or the fund campaign a scam exit is foolish and totally naive. So, but this guy says soon. I don't know if this is Soon Rock or Sun Rock. I don't even really care. But Soon Rock said it was for the Ledger work. Stop lying. You're just covering yourself now because the Ledger confirmed they're not working in XVG integration. And if you're removing it into your partner's wallet, why is it moving to Binance? To sell to your partner? Doesn't make sense. And this guy's kind of, agreeing. I think the Binance is for conversion to Bitcoin. And that's kind of what I thought, too. It makes sense. But down here, we have, hello, Ledger does not charge for coin integration anymore. They don't. They just don't charge. Either the integration is provided by the community, meaning the developers possibly get some kind of, which we help for free, or we follow our own integration roadmap. Have a nice day. So So basically, Verge does one of two things. You either go to Verge and you say, hey, I would like to be integrated, and they say, okay, well, and they probably give you some kind of instruction set somehow, and you go, okay, I'll work on this. And you're all developers, so you just, I suppose it's just some scripts and some programming a little bit, and you send it to them. They can put it on their wallet. Great. All said and done. Or you follow their roadmap, their specific instruction set, saying this is what you do this, and then here we go, and then send it back to us. So that's basically what it is. Or we can help you out a little bit. There is no paying, there is no charging, as confirmed by this tweet. It is a little ambiguous because which we can help with, or we can follow our own integration roadmap. So we don't know what that is, and there was a little bit of questions about it, but basically. Verge is sort of on fire right now about this. If you go to the Verge Reddit, everybody's saying stop the FUD, this, that, and the other thing. People saying how much they're losing. If you go to, like a broad Reddit like cryptocurrency where there's no particular bias, or at least not a broad bias, you hear people bashing Verge coin for this. So people, gave them 18 million Verge. 18 million Verge divided by, well, let's just go with 10 cents. What is that, like 1.8 million or 180,000? A lot. It's a lot. I think 1.8 million. Yeah. If we just go 10 cents, we're at 8 cents now, so a little bit less than that. But very interesting that they would send it to Binance when they say that they're sending it to their partners' wallets. And then Ledger's like, hey, we have no partnership. You guys emailed us once and nobody ever responded. That doesn't equate to a partnership. And plus, we don't even charge for it anyway. So what are you guys talking about? So this is looking really weird at the moment. And I'm not going to say outright that they scammed everybody's coins away. it would be very difficult for them to do that because I think a lot of the developers are in America for Verge, if I'm not mistaken. And the SEC would get them very quickly for that because America is one of the few places where the Wild West is kind of dying off with crypto. I mean, you can't hold ICOs, regulation. Somebody will get you sooner or later. And even in a lot of countries, there's big crackdowns on everywhere. I've seen every country, from India to Russia to this, that, and the other thing, of people getting arrested for illegally mining or illegally doing this, that, or the other thing on like government property or something, or outright thievery. So it wouldn't be good for them. They'd get caught very, very quickly. It wouldn't be like Europe where, like, I don't know, like some coin shuts down and you never hear about it again. So it has damaged the coin from, nearly 10 cents to now on a continuing fall of 8.3 cents. So I think at this point I may stop mining Verge. I'm not really sure. It might continue to go up, especially since the news is going to come out in 3 days on April 17th about what their supposed partnership is. But if it's anything like this, it's not looking good because they're talking about a partnership with Ledger that says that they don't have a partnership. Either they just made it up or they thought by emailing them and then starting to work on the integration, they thought they had a partnership. But where did they come up with this, that we need this much Verge to pay for our integration, when they never talked to them in the first place? So a lot of questions, as you can see. So tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Feel free to, have a discussion on this. So last thing we'll do is just go ahead and look at the old market cap. Most coins still up for now. A little bit of loss on Ripple and Bcash. That makes sense. A little bit on EOS there, but for the most part, everything's still doing pretty good. Sia Coin doing really good, interestingly enough, and Bitcoin Private doing pretty bad. And now Mithril, Verge, as you can see now, Verge is the 4th greatest loser on the first 100 coins market cap. So there you have it, people. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and as usual, I will see you guys next time.